What is going down, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zeri coming at you to bring you the first installment in the Artifact for Noob series. And yesterday I kept saying uncommon. Of course we're going to start with common. Classic Zeri move. And also when I talked about the 3 characters I'm going to give recommendation for or races, I'm going to try to make one like early game, mid game, end game kind of recommendation for everybody out there. The one thing I did forget to say yesterday when I put out that video is obviously you do not want to sell any of your artifacts until you get one for every character you're going to use, because any sort of stat boost is going to be good. But if you're just finding me for the first time and you're liking what you're seeing, click that subscribe button, turn on notifications, all that good stuff that goes along with it. My XMG family members out there, give me the feedback on this. You know I love you. Now, let's jump into common artifacts for noobs. I'm going to try to get through this as fast as I can. Alright, here we are. First one up on the list is the Flute of Truth from Amara. And the 2 stats is damage up to 3%. It's a 1-star to start and 6% armor. Apply burning, restores 0.5% maximum shield and 1% for Amara. 3 times per battle. So Amara has burning synergy, obviously. So some possible other characters that you could use this for. Obviously early game recommendation would be Corcorum. Everyone's going to start with Corcorum for the most part, right? He has burning in his kit. He is kind of squishy, and he does damage. So, good starter recommendation would be Corcorum. Mid-game recommendation, kind of more end-game, but you'll see in a minute. Ember. Ember has burning. She does damage. Yeah. And then there really isn't a recommendation for endgame, because this artifact is trash. 3% damage increase, the 0.5% maximum shield that it gives to anybody besides Amara 3 times per battle. It's terrible. So I didn't really go too in depth on this one because it's trash. Next one up on the list, Paladin's Lamp. Adam starts at a 2-star. Gives you crit chance up to 4% more and 8% armor. At the start of a battle, has 10% chance to gain taunt for 1 turn, 20% for Adam. So obviously this would be good for Adam. Crit chance plays into the goblins in the assist train. Armor is always good for a defender. So early game recommendation for this artifact would be Kinley. Kinley is a good starter tank. You get him pretty early on. Getting the chance to taunt right away at 10%. Pretty good. You know, armor increase is great. Critical chance doesn't really play much into his kit, but overall, I feel that this would be a good one starting. You know, you do get Adam pretty early too, but Kinley could be pretty beneficial. Mid-game. Definitely want to look at Tromgar. Tromgar is a damage-dealing tank. Giving him more armor would be great. Taunting early would be really good. And, you know, giving him a little bit more crit chance on his counters. Fantastic. So, mid-game recommendation, Tromgar. Then, my end-game recommendation is any defender, to be honest. Whatever defender you're using that you don't have a solid artifact for, this could be good. Now, the only one that I'd kind of discount from this would be Salvador, because most of the time Salvador is going to be paired with Hera, and he's going to get that taunt right away, but you don't really need the critical chance with him either. But putting 8% more armor on somebody would be great. So my recommendation for Paladin's Lamp is, it's average. Nothing more than average. I wouldn't strongly recommend upgrading it, but it does do some good things, especially with the 10% chance to taunt right away. So could definitely help you out. Now, it could be beneficial to Salvador because he could get that taunt up when it's off of cooldown. So, and there isn't a limit to the number of battles or turns per battle. You know, if it doesn't happen 3 times or 1 time, it can happen at any time. There's just a 10% chance. So that makes it average. Next one up, Mirror of Miss for Cruel. 1 star, critical damage 6 and armor 6%. Dealing damage has a 2% chance to remove a random buff from a target. 4% chance for Cruel once per turn. Cruel, single target damage dealer. She does already dispel with her, where she throws the bat, I am the knight, I think it's called, maybe. And, yeah. But this screams AoE damage dealer to me. If you're going to use Mirror of the Miss, it might be more beneficial on an AoE character. So you have once per turn, so you can't dispel off multiple people, but the more you hit, the more of a chance that 2% is going to fall to remove that random buff. So for the early game recommendation, I see Mar. You're going to want to put critical chance on anyway, so he can dispel on his AoE. So giving him more critical damage would be big. He's kind of squishy, so giving him armor is a plus. And he has that AoE that could reset itself, so it could be really beneficial for that. Still only 2% chance, but more beneficial. Mid-game, Freezard. Freezard has kind of 2 AoEs built into his kit. Kind of squishier character as well. You want him to crit because he is a damage dealer. So mid-game, I'm going with Freezard. End-game, going with Thalia here. Thalia, you want the crit chance on her so she hits harder. She has an AoE. She's putting on some poisons. So she could be beneficial for you. She has, you know, kind of too many AoEs a little bit when you think about it. So this could benefit her as well. But overall, in my opinion, this one here is an average rune or artifact, I'm sorry. And yeah, the chance that it's once per turn is good. It's not once per battle. The crit damage 6% is kind of like a rune itself, and armor isn't terrible. So all in all, average. Next one, Emperor's Crown for Darien. Starts at a 1 star, crit chance 3, health 4.5. Full shield loss has a 10% chance to get an armor increase for 1 turn, 20% for Darien, once per battle. So when it comes to early game, I go Mortha. Mortha is extremely squishy. She could benefit from getting a armor increase. She's going to be targeted by the opposition. Crit chance is okay with her, but the health would be beneficial to try to keep her alive. So early game, I'm going Mortha. Mid game, going Snorri here. Snorri, critical chance would benefit him greatly. Health would benefit him greatly. He is squishy. He gets targeted and AoE comes through, and pretty much his shield is going to be down. So mid game, I'm going Snorri. And for the end game, I'm going Kagi. Now, Kagi you get early, I understand, but you don't usually get your pride built up more towards the end game. Giving him critical chance so he becomes a little bit more of a damage dealer. Giving him the extra health would be huge. And again, his shields are so low, you're going to blow through that. But overall, in the long run, this artifact right here is trash. Terrible artifact in the whole grand scheme of things. The health and critical chance bump, okay, but getting an armor increase for 1 turn at a 10% clip really isn't going to be that beneficial. Trash artifact. The next one up, Ember. Starts at a 2 star. It is the Sphere of Sediment. Damage 120 flat, tenacity 6, landing a critical hit increases crit damage by 0.8%, 1.6 for Ember, 3 times per battle. So early game on this one, I'm going with Sharp. Damage, tenacity, Landing a critical hit, he gives the critical chance up, increases critical damage. Could definitely play into Sharp's kit early game. Mid game, going with Brawl. You want to put damage on Brawl, so 120 could kind of be beneficial. He is going to crit a little bit, so that would be helpful. Tenacity, always good, I guess. Endgame, I'm going with Shadar. You want damage on Shadar. You don't want him to be taken out of the battle by stun or anything like that, so tenacity increase would be good. But overall, this artifact, trash. It's a really terrible artifact, in my opinion. The flat percent, or the flat rate on damage is just bad. Tenacity isn't the best stat in the world. The 0.8% to increase critical damage, whatever. Trash artifact. Lucky Clover, made for General Murdoch, 1 star. Potency, 4.5%. Tenacity, 4.5%. Damaging 2 or more enemies, has a 50% chance to increase critical damage by 0.5%, 1% for General Murdoch, twice per battle. Now, what we're going to focus on really here is this potency check there. That potency is nice. So that's kind of where I'm going to focus with this one, but you also want to make sure if you're looking for that proc, so you kind of want to put it on somebody who needs potency and damages 2 or more people. Early game, looking at Corcoran for this room. Corcoran needs potency pretty desperately. He does damage 2 or more people, so definitely looking at Corcoran for the early game. Mid game, we're looking at Slinger here. Slinger needs potency so he can take down the strip those buffs on a critical hit. So giving him critical damage would be nice because you do stack him with critical chance so he can remove those buffs. The potency tenacity check still comes into play, so that potency 4.5% would be pretty good for Slinger. Endgame, you're looking at Mor'Doom. Mor'Doom definitely needs some help in the potency area, and so he can land all those debuffs. He is a damage dealer on 2 of his moves, so he is a good viable option in my opinion for this rune. Overall, this rune is average. The reason I put it at average is because giving yourself a 4.5% potency increase, especially in the early game when you might not have a lot of artifacts, could be big and really help you out. Get that potency on top of the rune set you're putting in. So that's why I give it average. Next up, Horn of War. Hard Orc starts at a 1 star, 4.5% potency, and then 4.5% health. Dealing damage to 1 enemy only increases tenacity by 0.2%, with 0.04% for Hard Orc 3 times a battle. So based off of just that little blurb, it doesn't, that part's trash. But the potency and health is nice, especially early game again. So early game recommendation for this character or artifact, Master Duo. Master Duo needs potency to get that slow, so especially for early raid viability where you're trying to slow down the bosses, this could be really beneficial to Master Duo because it gives them that extra potency, gives them that health to survive a little bit longer. For the mid game, you're looking at Puncher Face. Puncher Face gets all those taunts up, which is still goes through the 1 potency tenacity check, so having that extra potency, he is kind of squishy, so having the extra health would be really good as well. And for the end game, this wouldn't be bad for Dr. Frank. Dr. Frank needs to get that charge up and then the days, so he does require a lot of potency, so this would be good. His health is about 23,000, almost 24,000 unruined, so putting extra health on him would also be good. Overall, because of the potency and health combination that is on this one, it's average. Just an average artifact. Next one up, Whispering Pearl, Hera. Common, starts at a 2 star, accuracy 4 and armor 200. Dodging an attack has a 50% chance to increase damage by 0.8% and 1.6 for Hera once per battle. This one's easy. This one, right there, trash. Just a trash artifact. Accuracy, armor, not really required. do not put stuff into this. I'm just going to leave it right there. You don't need to hear recommendations about the Whispering Pearl, because maybe Shaolin, put it on Shaolin, any kind of AoE damage dealer to make sure they're hitting, or anybody you're going to pair with Foul Kinley, perhaps, because he does give himself a dodge increase with Patriarch Chi by his side. So, but overall, trash artifact. Not going to go much more into that. Next one up, Buckle of the Unrestrained Promises. Man, if I could talk today. Then it's for Hilda, 1-star, damage and shield. On dealing damage, if the hero shield is higher than the enemy's, there is a 10% chance to gain regeneration once per turn, 20% chance for Hilda once per battle. Now, once per battle is a big caveat. I don't like those. The damage and shield is a plus, so what we're going to kind of look at here is kind of AoE damage dealers. And recommendation, Foul. She has the AoE. She is quite squishy. You want to try to keep her alive. So getting her shield to be a little bit above your enemies, but at the early game it's a lot easier to do. So early game goes to Foul. Mid game, going with Tromgar. Tromgar should have a higher shield than most of your other characters. Giving him more shield would be a plus because he's going to be taunting all the time, and then he's counter-attacking, so the damage increase would be pretty nice for Tromgar. And endgame, going with Kiri. Kiri has very high shield in this game. She's going to be going quite often, so this could help. She has an AoE, so endgame, going with Kiri. But overall, the Buckle of Unrestrained Promises, trash. Really is not a very good artifact at all. Potion of War. Instructor Goram starts at a 1-star. Penetration, tenacity at the start of the battle. Increases critical damage by 1%. 2% for Instructor Goram. Now, this is one of the only artifacts in the common section that is guaranteed. At the start of the battle, you're going to get that 1% crit damage increase. But penetration and tenacity is just a really odd combination. So I'm not going to really go far into this one because to me, trash. Don't put anything into this. 1% critical damage, you're really not going to see that much. And with the substats being penetration and tenacity, I mean, you could look at somebody like Rin the Unseen, I guess. You could look at Lake, things like that. But just all in all, just the penetration, tenacity make it a trash artifact. Next one up, Shabby, baies, statuette, Kinley, starts at a 1-star, critical chance 3, health 4.5, dodging an attack increases damage by 0.2%, 0.4% for Kinley twice per battle. That part, not so good, but critical chance and health, awesome. So who are we looking at for early game here? Early game for me is Kyra. You can start farming Kyra at level 20 right out of the guild shop, so you get her unlocked. This could be a good one to put on her. She needs some health. She needs the critical chance. Good early game option here for Kyra. Mid game, I'm going Soleus, and Soleus is now a mid game character. When it comes down to Soleus, you want his critical chance up because he can do some pretty good basic damage. Also, the health is key. He's healing off his health, so that is a plus. So this one could be a good one for Soleus. Then endgame, any goblin. If you're running a goblin under a General Murdoch lead, you want him to have crit chance for the assist train. So giving somebody more additional crit chance in the endgame on a goblin team could be very big, especially somebody like Major Shot who has AoE on his basic. And then he has another AoE move. Definitely could benefit a lot of the goblin race here. Overall, this statuette here, average rune. Definitely there's some better options out there, but early game, common rune, higher tier average. Next one up, Shell of Sea Dreams. Lake, 1-star, crit damage by 6 and health 4.5% at the start of the battle. Increase potency by 0.5%, 1% for lake. Okay, so we're looking at crit damage and health with potency. Guaranteed, yeah, it is 1.5%, but at least it's a guaranteed potency increase. So Shell of Dreams, early on, we are looking at Snorri. Snorri, if you're using that AoE ability, you want to put those bleeds on, so the crit damage helps out. He's a squishy character, so the health fits there. Then the potency increase isn't bad for Snorri. Mid-game, Major Shot. This would be a good one for Major Shot. Critical chance, or crit damage, I'm sorry, at 6%. Health, he's so squishy. And then the potency, you want him to land those blinds and things like that. So, Major Shot, not a bad one for mid-game. End-game, Little Baddie. Critical chance, really not so much, but health is going to be huge. Then the potency, even at that low clip, could help because she can inflict blind, she's removing debuffs. So, Little Baddie there. Overall, this artifact, average artifact. Next one up, Tremendous Tome of Taxation. It is made for Little Baddie. Crit chance, armor, receiving damage, increases tenacity by 0.2%, 4% for Little Baddie, twice per battle. Now, the only real thing I'm going to say about this is, if you're strive for critical chance runes, put it on a goblin. Other than that, it's trash. This is a high trash, low average rune. I mean, armor 6% is kind of nice. You could put it on a defender if you're looking for that aspect. But all in all, the tenacity increase is kind of bad. But the 3% to your critical chance could help. So I'm looking at goblins or defenders. Other than that, trash. Next one up. Hatchet of Fury, damaged by 90, armor by 6. At the start of the battle, you gain 20 penetration, 40 from Mar. So, early game is Mar. Put this on Mar. If you get it, the extra penetration will increase his damage more than that 90% armor on a squishier character. Pretty good. Mid-game, I'm looking at Cruel here for the mid-game penetration, damage, armor, keep her alive. Pretty self-explanatory. Endgame, looking at Rin the Unseen. Penetration on Rin the Unseen's kit would be huge, especially under a lake lead. You're getting penetration anyways, so giving her more is even better, increasing her overall damage. But overall, this Hatchet of Fury, in my mind, is trash. Next one up, Medal of Loner. Major Shot starts at 2-star, 4% damage, 8% armor. Applying a debuff increases critical chance by 4%. Now, if it was crit chance instead of armor or something like that, Major Shot, but definitely reducing his damage that he takes with the armor. Okay, early game, looking at Eric the Shield Breaker. You know, he's a late early game, but still early game to me. Eric Shield Breaker fits pretty well. Damage increase, armor increase. He does not apply a debuff, but still giving him more damage and more armor would be beneficial. Mid-game, we're looking at Revolve here. Puts on the bleeds. Then he has the AoE. If you attack a target with bleed, you do more damage, so that would be pretty big for him, just to give him that damage increase. Endgame, Zira. She puts on debuffs all over the place. Definitely could trigger that caveat there. Damage is always good. Armor increase. Let's keep her around a little bit longer. So the end game, 0. Overall, the artifact, Medal of the Loner, average. Next up, Bell of Reaction. Master Duo, 2-star, damage 4%, armor 8%. Attacking a boss has a 4% chance to apply slow for 1 turn. 8% chance for Master Duo. This artifact is made for Master Duo and going to be readily available. So his primary use in this game is for raiding. So this is a perfect artifact for him. Really the only other character, because of that caveat, you know, obviously you could put it on any damage dealer, squishy damage dealer. But the other character I wanted to bring to mention is Yogi. Yogi is, again, primarily damage, or primary focus is raids. Now you could put this on any real damage dealer inside of a raid, because you have a 4% chance to apply slow for 1 turn, and it's never ending. It could proc multiple times, but Yogi is another character whose primary use is raids, so that could really help out. All in all, the Bell of Reaction, in my opinion, it's worth it. Could definitely help out your squad. Now, especially on a master duo, if you're using him for the raids early on, definitely help him out. Definitely worth it. And as a common artifact, you're not going to sink that much into it. The next one up is the Golden Comb Nightingale. Potency 4.5%, lifesteal 4.5%, dodging an attack restores 1% maximum health 10 times per battle. Pretty good stats with lifesteal and potency. Then dodging an attack, everyone has a 2% chance to do that. So that's just a plus. Next one up, or the early game recommendation for this one, would be Master Duo. Giving him potency to apply that slow would be really good. Giving him more health with lifesteal. You want him to try to go as often as he can in the raids, and lifesteal when he attacks is great. And then, you know, the dodge increase. Mid game, going freeze art here. Potency for the slows on his basic. He has the AoE damage. Lifesteal, keep him alive, so when he does do that AoE, it's going to just rebuild his life. And people are going to try to target him to get him out early, so could benefit. Endgame buff. Buff dodges all the time. You need potency on him. Makes a lot of sense for buff here. Yeah, just really screams buff to me. And all in all, this one here, worth it. Not for the caveat of dodging, but potency and lifesteal, just a really good combination on a rune. And if you're going to get multiple golden combs, as you might, wouldn't be a bad one to build up. Next one up is Gem of Riches. Patriarchy, 1-star damage and armor at the start of battle. Increase maximum shield by 1%. 2% for Patriarchy. Now, this one here, I'm going to make it simple. It's worth it. Damage increase with an armor increase and a guaranteed 1% max shield. You're looking at characters who have high max shield and do damage. Tromgar, perfect. Kiri, perfect. All those characters would be really, really good. And it's not bad for Patriarchy, but again, you could see a lot of Gem of Riches in your time, and this one wouldn't be a bad one building up. Lucky Foot, Ranthan Battle Poo, 2-star, critical chance, 4%, lifesteal, 6. Landing a critical hit restores health equal to 2% of the damage dealt. Again, I'm going to make this one simple. Worth it. This one is really good. Crit chance, lifesteal. You could put it on your goblins. Okay, you could put it on any sort of person who does critical hit. Early game, Mar, Freezard, Ember. You know, this is just any sort of goblin, like I said. Just this one is a really good one. The Lucky Foot, one of my favorites from common here. Sherukens of Silence. We're in the Unseen, 1, critical chance 3, tenacity 4. Dealing damage to an enemy increases damage 0.1%, 2% for in the Unseen, 5 times per battle. Again, I'm going to make this one simple. Trash. Critical chance, nice, but I really wouldn't put a lot into this because tenacity, meh, and a 0.1% on damage, it's not doing anything. Just pass on that one. Next up, Dragon Knight. Shadar, 1, potency 4.5, health 4.5%. The start of the turn, gain 5% lifesteal twice per battle, 1% for Shadar. So early game recommendation here, Venomate. Potency, health, gains lifesteal, it procs. Good one for Venomate. You need potency on him and to get those poisons to stick. And then health, squishy character, perfect. Mid game character, major shot. Needs all the potency and health he can get to try to keep him alive. So, that's really all I gotta say about that. Endgame, Mor'Doom. He needs potency for all those debuffs. His imps gain health based on his health, so bumping up his health would be very beneficial. So this one, not bad. All in all, the Dragon Knight, it's worth it. This isn't a bad common rune at all. Next one up, Sun Amulet, Soleus, 2-star to start, damage 4%, tenacity 6. The start of the turn recovers 8% maximum health, 0.8 maximum health for every active buff on the hero. 1.6 for Soleus. So damage tenacity, you wanted somebody who's going to put buffs on themselves, right? Because you don't want to rely on somebody else to try to get the buffs onto them. But if what you're looking at here is, rather than kind of show you in the corner, I'm just going to talk about it quickly. Anybody you pair with foul early game, Patriarchy, Soleus. But what my recommendation here is for the Sun Amulet, Tromgar. He's going to taunt. He's going to have the counter chance. Any tank defender, they're always going to have that up. Salvador would be nice. So those are my recommendations for that. The Sun Amulet, it's average. If the tenacity was maybe armor or something like that, it'd be worth it. But that tenacity, in my mind, just kind of brings it down. The fact that it's a guaranteed maximum health recovery at the start of the turn, you could also put it on very fast characters like Thalane. Stuff like that. Speaking of Thalane, Steel Leaf, critical chance, life steal at the start of the turn, gains 10 penetration, 20 for Thalane, twice per battle. Critical chance, life steal, like that combination right off the bat. For early game, Kyra, great for Kyra. Penetration on a damage dealer, critical chance, really good artifact here for Kyra. Mid game, Nightiel, we have the critical chance, lifesteal, penetration. She does some big time damage when you pair her with Soleus. Mid game, Nightiel. End game, Wonder Lua. This would be really good for Wonder Lua. Critical chance, lifesteal. She's a massive damage dealer, giving her 10 penetration, 10 or twice per battle. Could be good. All in all, this one here is average. I wouldn't knock you if you upped it, but there are some better ones that I would up in the common territory. But overall, average. Next one up, Furious Flame Totem, Tromgar, 1-star, penetration and health, suffering a critical hit, has a 50% chance to increase armor by 0.5%, once percent for Tromgar, twice per battle. I'm going to make this one easy. Trash. Penetration, okay, right. Health, not bad, but it's just, you got to suffer a critical hit to trigger it. The health, now if you're strived for health on a character who's a damage dealer, go ahead and put it on. This is a high trash, low average one. I mean, it could be really used for any damage dealer that you have that you struggle to keep alive. Next one. Brawl symbol, 0, once, damage 3%, life steal 4.5, suffering a critical hit, increases damage by 0.2%, 4% for 0, twice per battle. Damage, lifesteal, again. Trash. Could be average. Let's reframe that. Average. Damage, lifesteal, not bad. Suffering a critical hit, you put it on somebody with an AoE. What you want to put this on is your AoE damage dealers. Goblins, this wouldn't be bad for. So, all in all, I'm not going to go through because kind of repeating itself here, but this one's probably average. Yeah, give it average. So my YouTube family, there is the breakdown of artifacts for the common tier, and man, that is a mouthful, and I'm hoping to cut this video way down. So you saw my rankings, and I kind of just gave you an overview of a couple of them because simply that's all it needed. So I hope this helps. I hope this is what you're looking for. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss out the rest of the artifact videos coming your way. I am out of breath. I need some coffee. It is early. So, I love y'all. Up next is actually the uncommon ones. And a big thank you to badc.info for all of the great information they put out to make this way, way smoother. So, love y'all. See you in the next one. I'm out.